Welcome to the nice sweet spot where the reviews are on target and tell it like it is, whether it hits the spot or misses the target. Before we get into today's review, click that target mark subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. So, here's a fun fact about me. I haven't had a relaxer in over 2 decades. Within the past 10 years, maybe a little more, I rarely have worn my hair straight, let alone blow dried it. But on occasion, I do like to do a length check on my hair in its straightened state, or I just want to blow dry it before braiding it, or in this case, I just want to wear it out for the holidays. If you're someone who wears your hair natural like me, or you may blow dry someone else's hair, you might find yourself feeling just like overwhelmed as you search for the right blow dryer. I came across, let me show you what I came across, the Revlon one-step hair dryer and styler. This one's in pink. It came in my Amazon, you might be interested in this feed, last year. I made the purchase. And I've used it a few times on myself and my daughter, whose hair is also natural. So I figured, why not share my experience at the nice sweet spot by walking you through how this blow dryer works for me, while showing you how it can be compared to the standard professional blow dryer. All right. Are you ready? Because I am. So for this review, I'm going to start with freshly washed hair. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. So you can see my hair, it is, naturally curly. So the main focus is going to be on the Revlon. All right, make sure I get this tangled here. So it's going to be using the Revlon paddle brush. But in order to see how well it works, I'm also going to do a section of my hair with just a standard professional blow dryer. And that's this one right here, all right? So I'm going to just part my hair and everything, and we're going to see how it works. Okay, so I put my leave-in conditioner in and everything. I put in something to seal my hair, like with oil and all that type stuff, as well as a heat protectant. So we are ready. Let's do this section first in the back. And my hair is pretty thick, and with it being thick, it can take some time for it to dry. So we'll see how this goes. What I may do is just speed through after we get through this first section so we can see what's what. And I've used this blow dryer a few times before. I use it more so on my daughter because it doesn't pull at her hair as much, and that's something that she appreciates. So let's get started. So you can see, I just try to do smaller sections, and it's drying at a good pace, but you can see it still kind of has a wave to it. So what I'm going to do, and also there's 2 settings on here, and I'll talk about that too. But I'm going to speed through just so that you don't have to watch me blow dry my hair for like, who knows how long, okay? So let's speed through this. Okay, so we got one section done,
And I would say I actually set a timer midway through. I would say it probably took about 5 minutes or so, maybe a smidge longer to do just this one section in the back. And it feels dry. There may be some parts up here that I still need to take care of a little bit, but for the most part, it feels dry. So what we're gonna do is the front section here, and we're going to then see what it looks like side by side. All right, so this is what we have so far. I did 1/2 of my head, and you can see that it made it pretty straight for the most part. And I really think that the sealant I use, if you're wondering what I was using, it's Camille Rose. And I use that for the leave-in conditioner as well. It's a honey hydrate, just in case you're wondering. And I feel like that helped it some as well. And here's the other side. On this side, it actually looks a little different than when I first showed it to you because I already put the leave-in in there and everything, so it kind of changed how my hair looks. But what I'm going to do for the second part, because I think part of doing a review is to be able to compare it to something else sometimes, is I'm going to use the professional, this one here, so we can see which one really is working best. Now, my main review is not going to be on this, it's going to be on the Revlon, but this is what I had first, which cost way more than the Revlon. So if the Revlon can hold up to this, then it's even better, right? All right, let's take a look. Okay, so this time around, what I'm going to do is use this blow dryer and this brush, since it was a paddle brush with the is a paddle brush with the Revlon, just so that we can get kind of like an even playing field with the both of them. So I don't anticipate this one taking as long, but I think we may still speed through, but we'll get started and see what happens, okay? That's the one problem with this. It always stops when I'm pressing the buttons by mistake. So we'll speed breeze through. Okay, so can you tell the difference between which one? I believe I can. Even in touching it, I believe I can. So I have some good news and bad news. Well, not bad news so much, but I would have to say that this one, it does a wonderful job, and this one that costs much more, it's not that it doesn't do a wonderful job, but you, in looking at the video, probably saw it was a little cumbersome for me. I am not a hairstylist, so to be able to do this and hold this at the same time, it certainly was cumbersome for me. But I would say if I only had one to use, that I definitely would pick this one here because it's easier to manage. So right now, what I want to do is get into that nice sweet spot review.
So let's get into what's sweet about this Revlon one-step hair dryer and styler. Okay, definitely the price. At first I was hesitant to get it because I'm like, wow, it's like under $40. I'm accustomed to paying like double And I figured, oh, it's probably cheaply made, but it's not. And the cord, it's a nice length. And while the blow dryer is lightweight, it feels heavy duty too. I dropped it a few times by mistake, and it's still in good shape. Unlike the standard blow dryer, it's not cumbersome to hold since the brush isn't separate, it's on here, right? Plus, the comb attachment that I sometimes use with the standard one, it tends to pop off occasionally, which, okay, speaking of off, the switch for the Revlon, it's located in the place where you're less likely to turn it off in error. And I love that feature because it drives me nuts when I'm making progress and the switch turns off like it does with my other blow dryer sometimes. Like I keep flicking it back on. And of course, everyone's hair is different, but if you have thick hair or maybe a similar texture to mine, the brush doesn't tend to get caught in your hair. But there is potentially a bit of a tart issue, which I'll get into soon. But before I do, another sweet feature is that, you know, in times of blow drying my daughter's hair or blow drying my own hair, it doesn't really gather a lot of hair. I'm going to show you. So in the brush, this is about how much I got from my whole entire head. And plus also my hair, it feels nice and soft. It doesn't feel dried out or brittle after using it, which is important. Okay, so what's sour about this blow dryer? You know what? I don't have anything, but if something comes up, I will follow up for sure. And if you know something that's sour, let me know. Okay, now when it comes to the tart features, I do have a few of those. First, there's only 2 settings on here. There's just low and high. And while I try to use the low to protect my hair and I don't want to apply heat that often, maybe 2, maybe 3 times a year, my hair, you know, it takes a long time to dry. And so on the high setting, it takes about 5 minutes per section. I do 4 sections. So let's call it 20 minutes for my entire head. If you're hoping this dryer will cut down on the time it takes you to blow dry your head, this might not be the one if you have thick hair. Also, the high, it definitely feels hot. And it's coming from a central location. If you look on here, it's like in the middle, in the center of the brush. So if you're a diehard naturalista and you want to avoid heat at all costs, you'd probably be apprehensive about using this brush, using this dryer on high. Something else is that it only comes in pink or all black, and I don't think that's a total big deal, but you know, it might be for you. Okay, now that I've let you know why the Revlon dryer blows me away, here's a wrap review telling you why it made my day.
Hey, it's about time for that next wrap review. Check this out. It's the Revlon One Step. Use this, best believe you'll be all set. With this fabulous top-notch hair dryer, guess what? You can have your entire head done in no time. Surprise when your hair's dry, but only 2 settings, low and then straight to high. The price might make you think it's cheap, but I'm telling you, it comes through with that heat. Not worrying about hair pull, tangled tugs. Straight, curly, or kinky, yo, it's all love. Glide through your textured tresses. Losing hair, one of your stresses? Not much is coming from this brush. As long as you ain't going hard and in a rush, this thing's a sweet purchase. One step style, straight worth it.
I hope my review was helpful, especially if you're in the market for a new blow dryer. Side note, I did flat iron my hair after I blow dried it. If you were wondering, the Revlon didn't do this. With that said, I'm sure there's some features that I forgot to mention since I don't use mine that often and I wear my hair in its natural state most of the time. So if you have a question or maybe you just want to share about your experience in using this blow dryer, drop it in the comments. comments and let me know. Maybe you have a tip to help me in using the blow dryer. Also, if you haven't already done so, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time at the nice sweet spot. Take care.